Hello student, now we'll start the new chapter, parallel lines. In this video, I will explain all examples from practice set 2.1. But before that, what we are learning in this chapter? First, properties of angles formed by parallel lines and its transversal. Test of parallelness of two lines. Use of properties of parallel lines. Now, first, let's recall. Parallel lines, the lines which are coplanar and do not intersect each other, are called parallel lines. In this figure, these two lines are coplanar, means they are in a same plane. These two lines are parallel as they do not intersect. Next, do you recall the pairs of angles formed by two lines and their transversal? That's you have learned in 8th standard. In figure, line N is a transversal of line L and M. Here, in all, 8 angles are formed. Pairs of angles formed out of these angles are as follows. 8 angles means what? These are 4 and these are 4. 4 plus 4 at 8 angles. Now see this here. The pair of corresponding angles. Next, pairs of alternate interior angles. Pairs of alternate exterior angles, and last, pairs of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Now first we will see pairs of corresponding angles. Angle D and angle H. See this here. The angle D and the angle H is the corresponding angle. Okay. Next, angle A and angle E are the corresponding angle A and E. Next, angle C and angle G are the corresponding angle. Angle B and angle F, these are the pairs of corresponding angles. Next, pair of alternate interior angles. Angle C and angle E, these are the pairs of alternate interior angles. And angle B and angle H, this is the second pair. Next, pairs of alternate exterior angles D and F, D and F, A and G. These are the pairs of alternate exterior angles. Next, pairs of interior angles on the same side of the transversal, angle C and angle H, angle B and angle E. These are the pairs of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Some important properties. Now, first property. When two lines intersect, the pairs of opposite angles formed are congruent. This we have learned in the first chapter. Now, in this figure, these two lines AB and CD intersect at the point O, and pairs of opposite angles means what? Measure of angle AOC is equals to measure of angle BOD, and measure of angle AOD is equals to measure of angle BOC. These are the opposite angles. Next, the angles in a linear pair are supplementary, means here the angle 1 and angle 2, these are the linear pairs of angles, and their sum is equals to 180. When one pair of corresponding angles in is a congruent, then all the remaining pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. Now see this in this figure. Line Q and R, these are the two parallel lines. P is their transversal. Here the one pair means what? A is a congruent to E. Then all the remaining pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. Means what? B and measure of angle B is equals to measure of angle H. Their measures are equal. C and G, their measures are equal. B and F, their measures are equal. Okay. Now next, when one pair of alternate angles is congruent, then all the remaining pairs of alternate angles are congruent. Now see this here in this figure. Line Q and line R are parallel. Q is their transversal. one pair of alternate angle, that is angle C is a congruent to angle E, then another pair, which is that angle D is a congruent to angle F. Also, exterior alternate angle, that is angle B, measure of angle B is a congruent to measure of angle H. Measure of angle A is a congruent to measure of angle G. These are the exterior alternate angles. When one pair of interior angle on one side of the transversal is supplementary, then the other pairs of interior angle is also supplementary. Now see this here figure. Line Q and line R, these are the parallel lines. Q is their transversal. What about the interior angle? Angle E and angle D, these are the pair of interior angle. Angle C and angle F, this is the pair of interior angle. If one pair is a supplementary, means what? There's measures, sum of the measures of angles is 180. That is measure of angle E plus measure of angle D is equals to 180. Then measure of angle C plus measure of angle F is also 180. Now interior angle theorem. What is that theorem? If two parallel lines are intersected by transversal, the interior angles on either side of the transversal are supplementary. Okay, now see this here. If two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal, these are the two parallel lines, line M and L. These are the two parallel lines. N is their transversal. Okay, then the interior angles on either side of the transversal are supplementary. Okay, then the interior angles, that is the measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is equals to 180, and the measure of angle C plus measure of angle D is also 180 given. In the given, we describe the given figure. What is that? Whatever that we have given. What we have given, if two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal. Okay, here the line M and line N are the parallel lines. Line L and line M are parallel lines. That is why we write here in given line N is a parallel to line M and line N is their transversal. Hence, as shown in figure, angle A, angle B are the interior angles on one side. Angle A and angle B are interior angle on one side, and angle C and angle D are interior angles formed on the other side of the transversal. This we describe in the given. Next, to prove we want to prove that their sum is equals to 180. Sum of the interior angles on the other side is equals to 180. Means what? Measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is equals to 180. Measure of angle D plus measure of angle C is equals to 180. This we want to prove. Now see this here. The first is three possibilities arises regarding the sum of measures of angle A and B. First, measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is less than 180. Second, measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is greater than 180. Third, measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is equals to 180. This we want to prove. Now first, let us assume that the possibility, first, measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is less than 180 is true. Then what will happen? Then according to Euclid's postulate, if the line L and M are produced, will intersect each other on the side of the transversal where angle A and angle C are formed. On this side, the line L and M, they will intersect each other. See this figure. If we produce these two lines, they will intersect. Okay. But we have given that line L and line M are parallel. We have given the line M and N are parallel. Okay. Therefore, measure of angle A plus measure of angle B less than 180 is impossible, and this is the first one. Next, now let us suppose that measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is greater than 180 is true. Then what will happen? As measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is greater than 180, but measure of angle A plus measure of angle D is 180. measure of angle A plus B is a greater than 180. But we have given that, what is that? A and D are the linear pair angles. Their sum is equals to 180. Therefore, measure of angle C plus B is equals to 180. Measure of angle C plus B is 180, as these angles are the linear pair. Okay. Now first again I will repeat. Measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is 180. But we know that A and D are linear pair. B and C are also linear pair. Their sum is equals to 180. And therefore, measure of angle A plus measure of angle D plus measure of angle B plus measure of angle C is equals to 180 plus 180, and that's equals to 360. Means what? We add these two equations. That is the measure of angle A plus measure of angle D plus measure of angle B plus measure of angle C, that we add the left hand side. Simultaneously, we add the right hand side. And hence we get measure of angle A plus measure of angle D plus measure of angle B plus measure of angle C is equals to 360. Okay, means what? Measure of angle C plus measure of angle D is equals to 360 minus measure of angle A plus measure of angle B in bracket. Okay. Therefore, from last page, that is the measure of angle C plus measure of angle D is equals to 360 minus measure of angle A plus measure of angle B. Okay. If A plus B is a greater than 180, then 360 in bracket 360 minus A plus B is a less than 180. That is, in second case we have considered that the measure of angle A plus B is a greater than 180. Then what will happen for this subtraction? It's clear that as A plus B is a greater than 180, therefore it's clear that 360 minus the number which is greater than 180, their subtraction is clearly less than 180. Okay. Therefore, measure of angle C plus measure of angle D is a must less than 180. Okay, means what? As measure of angle C plus measure of angle D is less than 180, it means that the line M and L, they are intersecting. Okay, but in this case, line M and line M produced will intersect each other on the same side of the transversal where angle C and D are formed. Here the angle C and D are formed, and if we produce line M and L, they will intersect here. Okay, and therefore we have given that the line M and L are parallel, and therefore the measure of angle C plus measure of angle D less than 180 is impossible. Okay, and that is A plus, that is the measure of angle A plus measure of angle B greater than 180 is impossible. As this is the impossible, it's clear that measure of angle A plus measure of angle B greater than 180 is impossible. Okay, and therefore the remaining possibility. Now, which is the remaining possibility? That is measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is equals to 180, is because first and second possibility impossible, therefore third possibility is possible. That is measure of angle A plus measure of angle B is equals to 180. Okay. Similarly, we can prove that measure of angle C plus measure of angle D is equals to 180. Okay, and note that. What about this theorem? In this proof, because of the contradiction, we have denied the possibility. We have denied the possibility. Which are the possibilities we denied? That is a plus B greater than 180. Okay, and A plus B less than 180. Therefore, this proof is an example of indirect proof. Now next, corresponding angles and alternate angles theorem. What is that theorem? The corresponding angles formed by a transversal of two parallel lines are of equal measures. Now see this here in this figure. Line L is parallel to line M and N is their transversal angle. A and angle B. These are the corresponding angles. When these two lines are parallel, their corresponding measure of the corresponding angles are equal. Now given line L is parallel to line M and N is their transversal. Then what we want to prove that? The measure of angle A is equals to measure of angle B. Proof. Measure of angle A plus measure of angle C is equals to 180. A plus C is equals to 180. Angles in linear pair. Okay. Next, measure of angle B plus C is equals to 180. Measure of angle B plus C is equals to 180. These are two interior angles. That is a property of interior angles of parallel lines. This is the first and this second one. Therefore, from 1 and 2, the sum of measures of these two angles is 180 and hence their left hand sides are also equal. That is measure of angle A plus measure of angle C is equals to measure of angle B plus measure of angle C. On the both sides C is a common, we can delete from the both the sides or subtract C from the both the sides. Then you will get here measure of angle A is equals to measure of angle B, and this we want to prove. Next, alternate angles theorem. The alternate angles formed by a transversal of two parallel lines are of equal measures. Now see this in this figure. Line L is parallel to line M. N is their transversal. This we write in our given. Then to prove that the measure of angle B is equals to measure of angle D. These are the alternate angles. Here the given line L is parallel to line M. N is a transversal. Then what we want to prove, that we write in to prove. That is a measure of angle B is equals to measure of angle D. These are the alternate angles. They are equals, we want to prove. Now proof. Measure of angle D plus measure of angle C is equals to 180. D plus C is 180. They are the linear pair angle. Also measure of angle C plus B is equals to 180. The property of interior angles of parallel lines, as their right hand sides are equal, therefore their left hand sides are also equal. That is measure of angle D plus measure of angle C is equals to measure of angle C plus measure of angle B. We can cancel C on both sides. Then we will get here measure of angle D is equals to measure of angle B, and hence we have proved this theorem. Now practice set 2.1. First example. In the figure, line RP is a parallel to line MS. Line DK is their transversal. Measure of angle DHP is equals to 85. See this here. The line RP is a parallel to line MS. Line DK is their transversal. Measure of angle DHP is equals to 85. Now, first, measure of angle RHD. Next, measure of angle PHG. First, measure of angle RHD. RHD, this we want to find out. Next, measure of angle PHG. PHG, this measure we want to find out. Third, measure of angle HGS. Measure of angle HGS. Okay. Measure of angle MGK. Measure of angle MGK. Okay. Now first, as these two are the vertically opposite angles, therefore measure of angle RHG is equals to 180. We can solve this example orally also. Next, measure of angle DHP and the angle DHP and the angle HGS. These are the corresponding angles and hence their measures is also equal. Therefore, measure of angle HGS is equals to 85. Next, measure of angle HGS is equals to measure of angle MGK. These are the vertically opposite angles. Their measures are equal. Next, measure of angle DHP plus measure of angle DHR is equals to 180. These are the linear pair angles. Their sum is equals to 180. Therefore, 180 minus 85. Then you will get 95. Therefore, measure of angle DHR is equals to 95. Similarly, here these are the vertically opposite angles. Therefore, measure of angle PHG is also 95. Again, the measure of angle PHG, okay, PHG is equals to measure of angle SGK. These are the corresponding angles and hence their measures are also equal. Okay, and again these are the vertically opposite angles. Now we'll see here the first solution one by one here. Measure of angle DHP is equals to 180. This is given. Measure of angle DHP plus measure of angle RHD. DHP plus RHD is equals to 180. As they are linear pair, substitute the value of DHP 85 degree plus RHD is equals to 180 degree. Therefore, measure of angle RHD is equals to 180 minus 85 degree. Therefore, measure of angle RHD is equals to 95 degree. Next, angle PHG is a congruent to angle RHD. These are the vertically opposite angles. Okay. Measure of angle PHG is equals to measure of angle PHG is equals to measure of angle RHD. Okay. But therefore the measure of angle PHG is equals to 95. Now next, line PR is a parallel to line MS. That's we have given. DK is their transversal. Again, the angle DHP is a congruent to angle HGS. These are the corresponding angle. Therefore, measure of angle DHP is equals to measure of angle HGS and hence measure of angle HGS is also 85 degree. That is next. Angle DHP. Angle DHP is a congruent to angle MGK. Angle MGK. These are the exterior alternate angles. Okay. And therefore measure of angle DHP is equals to measure of angle MGK. Therefore measure of angle MGK is also 85 degree. Okay. And these are the required angles. We want to find out their measures. Now next question. In the figure, line P is a parallel to line Q. Line L, this is the transversal, and line M is also transversal. Measures of some angles are shown. Hence find the measures of angle A, B, C, D. Okay, now see this here. Line P and Q are parallel. L is their transversal. Now the measure of angle A and this 180. They are the linear pair angle. Their sum is 180. Therefore 180 minus 110. You will get here 70 degree. Okay. This is the first one. Next. Again, as these two lines are parallel, angle A and the angle B, these are the exterior pair of alternate angles. Therefore measure of angle B is also 70 degree. Next. Measure up as these two lines are parallel, M is their transversal. Therefore, angle C and here the measure of angle 115. These are the corresponding angles. Therefore, measure of angle C is 115 degree. Okay. Next, 150 and D. These are the linear pair angles. Their sum is 180. Therefore, 180 minus 115 you will get here 65. And we have calculated all the measures of angles here. Now see this here one by one. Solution. Measure of angle A plus measure of angle 110 is equals to 180. Therefore, angles in linear pair. Therefore, angle A is equals to 180 minus 110. Therefore, angle A is equals to 70 degree. This is the first one. Consider Z as angle as shown in the figure. This angle Z is here. Okay. Line P and Q are parallel. Okay. L is their transversal. Therefore, this angle A and this is angle Z. Okay. These are the corresponding angles. Therefore, here the measure of angle Z is equals to 180. Here is that angle Z. I will write here. This is the angle Z. Okay. Now next. Measure of angle Z is equals to 70 degree. Measure of angle B is equals to measure of angle Z. They are the vertically opposite angles. Therefore, B is equals to 70 degree. Now next, line P is a parallel to line Q. M is their transversal. Okay. Measure of angle C is equals to 115. They are the corresponding angles. Okay. Next, angle D plus 150 is equals to 180 linear pair angles. Therefore, angle D is equals to 180 degree minus 115 degree, and hence D is equals to 65 degree. And hence we have calculated all their angles A, B, C, D, and this is their measures. Now next, in the figure, line L is parallel to line M and line N is parallel to line P. Line N is parallel to line P. Find angle A, angle B, angle C from the given measure of an angle. Now the solution, see this here. Consider angle D as shown in the figure. If we consider this here the angle D, okay. As these two lines are parallel, P is their transversal, these two angles are the corresponding angles. Therefore, the measure of angle D is equals to 45. Okay. Measure of angle D is equals to 45. Their opposite is also 45. Okay. As this is the 45, these two are linear pair. Therefore, their sum is 180. 180 minus 45, you will get here 135. Measure of angle B is 135. Next, measure of angle C is also 135 because these two are the corresponding angles. Measure of angle A is also 135. They are the vertically opposite angles. Now we'll find out one by one. See this here figure. Measure of angle D is equals to 45 degree as they are the corresponding angles. A plus D is equals to 180. Okay. And therefore, we know the measure of angle D, which is the 45. Measure of angle A plus 45 is equals to 180. Therefore, measure of angle A is equals to 180 minus 45. All these are very easy. You can find out by your own also. Measure of angle B is equals to measure of angle A. Measure of angle B is equals to measure of angle A. They are the vertically opposite angles. Therefore, measure of angle B is equals to 135. Okay, measure of angle A is also 135. सर्व angles easy आहे, तुम्ही orally देखील ते करू शकताय. Line N is parallel to line P. N is a parallel to line P. Okay. Next, M is their transversal. Measure of angle C and measure of angle A. These are the alternate angles. Okay. Measure of angle C is equals to 135. And in this way, all the measures of angles A, B, C is 135 degree. Next, in the figure, sides of angle PQR and angle XYZ are parallel to each other. That is here, ray QP is a parallel to ray YX and ray QR is a parallel to ray YZ. Okay. Then prove that angle angle PQR is a congruent to angle XYZ. This we want to prove. Now, proof. Let ray XY intersect ray QR at M. If we extend the ray XY, then it will intersect ray QR at M. Okay, such that Y is in between X and M. Y is in between X and M. And M is in between Q and R. Ray YZ is a parallel to ray QR. Line XY, these two rays are parallel. Line XY is their transversal, and therefore measure of angle, that is a angle XYZ, angle XYZ is a congruent to angle YMR. These are the corresponding angles. Ray XY is a parallel to ray QP. XY is a parallel to QP. Okay, as these two angles are congruent, add done here similar sign here. Okay, next again I will repeat here. Ray YX, see this here, ray YX and the ray QP, these are the parallel. That is ray YX means what? Ray MX. Ray MX means what? It is a line MX is also, if we extend in this way, or we can treat it as the ray MX is a parallel to ray QP. These are the two parallel rays. Okay, and QR is their transversal. Therefore, angle YMR is congruent to angle PQM, as these are the corresponding angles. This is the second one. Okay. And therefore, the angle PQM, see this here, the angle PQM is congruent to angle XYZ. In first, we have given that angle XYZ is congruent to angle YMR, means what? This angle is congruent to this, and again we have this angle is congruent to this. It means that these two angles are congruent. I will write here. See this here. As first we have proved that these two angles are congruent. Okay. And next we prove that this is, suppose this angle is 1, this is angle 2. Next we prove that the angle 3 is congruent to angle 3 is congruent to angle 2. Means what? Angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Okay. And that's why I had written here that the angle XYZ is congruent to angle YMR. This is the first one. Okay. Next, we have proved here that is a angle YMR. YMR is congruent to angle PQM. Okay. And hence, from these two, okay, from this one and this is the 2, we will prove that that is a measure of angle PQ M is congruent to angle, measure of angle X, Y, Z. Okay. That is measure of angle PQR is congruent to angle, measure of angle X, Y, Z. Okay. See this here, all these three angles are equal measures. Now question number 5. In the figure, line AB is parallel to line CD, PQ is transversal. Measures of one of the angles is given. Hence find the measures of the following angles. Angle ART, angle CTQ, angle DTQ, angle PRB. Okay, now see this very easy question. Now here, the measure of angle BRT is equals to 105. Here the measure of angle ART, measure of angle ART plus measure of angle BRT is equals to 180. These are the linear pair angles. Their sum is 180. Therefore, measure of angle ART plus measure of angle BRT we have given 105, and that's equals to 180. Therefore, measure of angle ART is equals to 180 degree minus 105, and hence measure of angle ART is equals to 75. Next, line AB is a parallel to line CD. See this here, AB is parallel to CD, and PQ is their transversal. Therefore, the angle CTQ, see this here, angle CTQ is a congruent to angle ART. Okay. Therefore, their measures are also equal. Measure of angle CTQ is equals to measure of angle ART. Therefore, measure of angle CTQ is equals to 75, because we have given, that is we have proved, we have find out the measure of angle RT is 75, and these are the corresponding angles. Therefore, measure of angle CTQ is 75 degree. Okay. Again, I will show here, as these two are the linear pair angle, their sum is 180. Therefore, 180 minus 105, you will get here 75 degree. These are the vertically opposite angles. Again, these are the vertically opposite angles. These are the interior angles. Their sum is 180. Again, their sum is 180. These are the vertically opposite angles. Again, vertically opposite angles. In this way, we have calculated all the 8 angles. Okay. Next, measure of angle CTQ plus measure of angle DTQ. CTQ plus DTQ is equals to 180. That is the angles in linear pair. CTQ is a 75 plus DTQ is equals to 180. Therefore, measure of angle DTQ is equals to 180 minus 75 degree. Therefore, measure of angle DTQ is equals to 180 degree minus 75 degree. परीक्षेला आपल्याला हे लॉंग फॉर्ममध्ये सगळं लिहायचं असतं. अदरवाईज आपण हे ओरली सर्व मेजर्स फाइंड आउट करू शकतो. ओके. Therefore, measure of angle DTQ is equals to 105 degree. Next, measure of angle PRB. Okay, measure of angle PRB plus measure of angle BRT is equals to 180. These are the linear pair angles. Okay, substitute the measure of angle BRT, which is 105. Therefore, angle PRB plus 105 degree is equals to 180. Okay, therefore, measure of angle PRB is equals to 180 degree minus 105. Therefore, measure of angle PRB is equals to 75 degree. And in this way, we have calculated all the angles. सर्व अँगल्स इझी आहे, तुम्ही ते ओव्हरऑली देखील कॅल्क्युलेट करू शकताय. पण परीक्षेमध्ये आपल्याला या सर्व प्रॉपर्टीज, लिनियर पेअर, वर्टिकली अपोजिट अँगल्स, ओके, अल्टरनेट अँगल्स, या प्रॉपर्टीनुसार सर्व अँगल्स फाइंड आउट करायचे असतात. अदरवाइज वी कॅन फाइंड आउट the measures of all angles orally also. Okay, and in this way we have completed this practice set 2.1. Now we'll see in the next video. Till then, goodbye.